What's going on YouTube? It's Juggernxvt, and today we are going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly in Call of Duty World War II. And I wanted to make this video, but I wanted to max level, and this is the actual game that I got max level in this game. So I wanted to play the game a lot, hit the max level, and then talk about it. That way I could give you an honest and fair opinion on the game and talk about the things that it needs to be fixed and the things that it's doing right and all that stuff. And this is just for constructive criticism. Don't nail me in the comments talking about it's just a beta, this and that, this and that, this and that. I'm having a ton of fun playing this game. Oh my god, you fucking kidding me, bro? I gotta see this. And I think that's going to be really solid. So go ahead and drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Juggernxvt, and let's get into it.
We all die. You either kill yourself or get killed.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I know that this is the beta, and I know that they're going to fix a lot of the kinks and a lot of the problems that the game has right now, and they're just looking for feedback, positive or negative, just to improve the game for all of us. So it is important for us to, consider that we are going to just give them feedback, and this will hopefully be improved. The problems that we have with it will improve over time. So the first thing I want to talk about is the good. The maps look amazing. The gore is great. I love what they did with the gore, and they really came through when they said that they were going to make this a gory, brutal Call of Duty. Just the little things, like whenever you shoot someone, they just don't die. They're there on the floor laying down. It brings a real eerie feeling that World War II had, and it's the most realistic COD that we've had in a really long time, and I really do appreciate that. The next thing that I want to talk about is the sound. The sound is amazing. I love the way the guns sound. I love the way the suppressors sound. I love the way the LMG sounds. I even like the MG nests, the light machine gun nests, the mounted machine guns. I really like how that sounds. I really like the placement of those as well. Another good thing about this game, guys, is that it's different, and that is something that Call of Duty has lacked for quite a while now. In Advanced Warfare through Infinite Warfare, we had a very solid era of kind of the same thing, strafe jumping. We didn't really see a lot of variety between those three games, especially Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare. Yeah, there are differences. I'm not saying that they're all alike. They're very similar games, and this COD separates itself from every other COD in history. Even World at War, it was just a different console, a different era, it was just a completely different game. And I think that they did an awesome job with the variety and difference of this game. It's something that we haven't seen, and I really do appreciate that. We're gonna be talking about the bad things in this game, and I think I speak for a lot of people. At least I hope so. I hope that a lot of you guys have the same feelings about this game as I do. If you do, let me know in the comments. If you have any different opinions, let me know down in the comments below. But this is just the bad that I don't like about this game. So starting off on the bad, I don't like the divisions. I really like the Pick 10 system. I know people were against it because you could throw different perks, and there were some perks and attachments and class setups that were very viable for a lot of different situations, and I know a lot of people didn't appreciate that. But as for someone that has played Pick 10, it was a very different and a great system to put in for creating a class. And Call of Duty is about being able to customize and create your classes. I don't know what they were thinking whenever they said, let's go ahead and put divisions in the game. And as of now, guys, I don't use anything other than Airborne. I can't think of anything other than Airborne that is viable in this game. I don't see anyone use the LMG. I don't see anyone use the shotguns other than the incendiary rounds. That's the only reason they use it. It's just not a viable option to use really anything other than the Airborne. I mean, you could use infantry, and it's just, I don't know, guys. I really don't appreciate the division system. I don't like how you could put a suppressor only on some machine guns. I just think that was a really bad idea. Suppressors are very common and just a normal part of Call of Duty, and I think that they did a real bad job trying to throw it into some certain class setups. It just didn't work out, and I don't appreciate that. I hope that they can fix it, but more than likely we are going to be stuck with the divisions. I just hope the next Call of Duty that comes out kind of just throws it away, or at least they don't have to go back to the Pick 10 system, but if they're going to do something different, I hope they do it right. I don't think this is the way to go about avoiding the Pig 10 system and avoiding overpowered class setups. Speaking of overpowered class setups, I think that this game has zero gun variety. If you've watched videos on YouTube, if you've watched any good player use this game, they've used more than likely only one type of gun, and that is the PPSH, the Type 100, and maybe the STG. Those three guns dominate this game. There's not a real place for anything other than those guns. You know, I've seen a couple people use the M1, the M4, but those guns are just really bad. I think that a lot of people agree with me whenever I say that they're just not very viable weapons, and people have a hard time using them. And I can't blame them. Whenever you're trying to use a different variety of gun, you're always going to be outclassed by the PPSH or by the Type 100. And even the PPSH is probably the best gun in the game. I think a lot of people would say that and agree with me because of the fact that it just has a high fire rate. It's not that bad whenever it comes to recoil, and it does a decent amount of damage. Along with the gun variety, guys, another thing that I have a problem with in this game is the spawns. Now, the new map that came out, I'm not sure what it is called. It's the one with the library. I'll go ahead and whenever I'm editing this, I'll put the name of the map on the screen right now, just so you know what map I'm talking about. And this map has a ton of issues with spawn locations. I mean, the spawns are so difficult in this game. Even in this map right here, I think this is Juggernxvt or however you say it, the spawns are so easy to flank. And not that it's worked against me, but even for someone that uses the spawns to my advantage, like, you're pretty much straight, you get right behind them and they'll keep spawning there, and you don't have to be too far from their spawn to see them spawning in and killing them as soon as they get there. I think that's going to pose a real big problem whenever this game is widely played, especially whenever people that don't know about the maps are just going to run straight through them, and people that have played the beta like myself or any skilled players just going to flank around them like nothing. It's going to cause a real amount of issues, and I think that they should avoid that by fixing the spawn system, and I hope that these things can be fixed, and they probably will. Now I want to talk about the ugly, and the difference between the bad and the ugly in this commentary is the bad is things that they probably can and will fix, but the ugly is things that they just can't fix. It's just a part of the game, and I have no grudges towards them for it. So along with any boots on the ground game, there is going to be a surplus of campers. Campers are going to be a real problem this year, I can already tell. And if you weren't annoyed in jetpacking CODs with people camping in corners, this is the year that they are going to infuriate you. I get tilted a lot whenever people are camping in corners, and in jetpacking games it's very, very different because you're able to flank them or just jump around them, hit them from so many different angles. In this game, it's very two-dimensional. It's very easy to just camp in a corner and wait for someone because you know they're going to come that way and that way only. I think that's going to be a real big problem, but it's just a boots on the ground type thing. It's going to happen in Modern Warfare Remastered. If you've ever played that game, that happens a lot, and that's why a lot of people do not play it and they opt out to play other games like Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare. The next thing that's I think is very ugly is the incendiary shells in this game are very broken. I don't know if they implemented the nerf. I know that they talked about it, but man, dude, coming from someone that really hates shotguns, if you know me, I hate shotguns. I hated the brecci, I hated the models in Infinite Warfare, and shotguns are so annoying to me. I get really tilted. It could be just me that has this much of a problem with the incendiary shells, but I think that they're just so newbie. I think that they're really, really skillless, and I think that the fact that you can spawn in with them is a real problem. It poses a real problem to people that know how to play the game, and people that just don't know what they're doing can just spray you, and if you catch on fire, then you're on fire. It's ridiculous how overpowered they are, and I think that that should get a very serious nerf in the meantime. I think that what Prestige is key, if you know who he is, he actually offered a great solution, and that is to, instead of spawning in with the incendiary shells loaded, you have to take time, just like you take the time to put on or detach the suppressor on an SMG. It should take you that time. You should have to load the incendiary shells on your own time. I think that's a very, very good way to slow the overpoweredness, so to speak, on these shells. I think that's gonna have a real big and awesome effect. I really think that was a great idea. Guys, and the last ugly thing I want to talk about is paratroopers. Paratroopers are really bad. I've gotten them a couple of times, and although they are very difficult to get, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, they're not too difficult, but they are the highest streak in the game right now, and I don't know if there's gonna be a higher one. If there is, I hope it's worth it. The paratroopers are very bad. They're just 3 bots that come in, and it's like they're on recruit level. I know that they were going to get a buff, but I hope that instead of giving them a buff, making them more skilled fighters or gunners or whatever they are, I think that they should just have a more amount, like a higher amount of troopers should come in. I know that now they come in with 3, but I think 4 or 5 should be a decent amount, and if you kept them all at the same skill level, I think that it'd be a great addition to the game. I think it'd make the paratroopers a lot more worth going for, and I think that would help the game a lot. Do you agree with my opinion? If you did, make sure to leave a comment on the video, and if you didn't, leave a comment as well. I'd love to hear y'all guys' opinions on the game. I think that it's going to be a great year for COD. I think they're going to smack it out of the park. I think they're doing an excellent job with the beta so far, but there are some things, like everything, that are going to need some work and going to need some tuning to become perfect. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Juggernxvt. Peace.